Okay, in this tutorial we're going to add multiple map sheets. This may be because in a previous tutorial we just added one map sheet and that was 1 to 1 million and there wasn't enough detail on there, so we might have to add multiple map sheets which are covering a smaller scale. So that's what we're going to do in this tutorial. Remember, the process is exactly the same as when we added the single map sheet. We're just adding multiple map sheets in. So first of all, we can go to Map on the menu bar, click onto Map, go to Open, and inside the Map Workspaces is where we want to add any additional maps. Whether it be single maps or in this case multiple maps in a folder, we need to place all that information in there. The reason why we place it into Map Workspaces is because if we're going to upgrade to the next version of CBRN-Analysis, when that goes through the install process, it will look inside Map Workspaces, see the folders of the maps that you have created as an operator and take them into the next version. Also, more importantly, it will take the links as well. And you can see I've got two additional links here. I've got the how-to map and an online map. These are two additional map applications that I have placed inside here. They're basically links to certain maps. You're going to do exactly the same, and you want those links to go across to the next version so you don't have to mess about. If they're not inside the Map Workspaces folder, then you will lose the links when you install into the next version of CBRN-Analysis. Just to remind you then, if we go to the C drive, where is the Map Workspaces folder situated? It's inside the users folder if you're using operating system Windows 10. Then you go inside the public folder, then inside a folder called BrewNewTech. You will then only have the one folder. I've got multiple folders in here, but the one you will have is obviously going to be called CBRN-Analysis. You click onto that, and then there are multiple folders inside here. The one you're looking for is Map Data and then Map Workspaces. So inside here is where you are going to physically place in the maps that you want to use as an operator. I'm going to place two folders in here. Let's go to the desktop and then I'll show you the two folders I'm going to drop in. One's called Maps Belgium and the other is called Syria Maps. Now, Maps Belgium, if we open that up, is ASRP and then all the information from there. Okay, and then the other one, if I go back, is Syria Maps, and they have been created using the old map engine. So if I cancel from here, and then what I can do is, no I won't, yes I will, I'll open it up like so, go to the desktop, go to Maps Belgium. Here you can see all the data that you would collect that would be on a CD of this particular area. So you have the ASRP mapping folder and all the additional files that go with that when it's produced onto a CD, and then you can extract that information. Remember, you don't need all this information if you're going to bring it inside the system into Map Workspaces. You can just go into the ASRP folder and extract whichever maps that you require. If you need them all, then you take them all. Like I said, I'm just going to take them all. It's a lot easier for me to do it that way. Just take everything that's already inside here. The other one, Syria Maps, now these have been created in the old map engine that's used in previous versions of CBRN-Analysis. So in this case, these maps have been created and have made three files. they've made the TIFF file, a tab file, and a GIST file. Okay, so again, we're going to use old maps that we've created in previous versions of CBRN-Analysis using the old map engine and bring it in to this new version of CBRN-Analysis with the new map engine. Okay, so let's just close that down. What I'm going to do is open up the Map Workspaces folder, and I'm just going to drag Maps Belgium in and the Syria maps. Okay. And then I'm going to close the Map Workspaces folder down. So that's the information in. How many maps, how many folders you place into Map Workspaces is entirely up to you. But remember, please title or label them correctly so you know which one is which and how to then get into those different folders. So we're going to go back to Map on the menu bar, go to Open, and we're going to open up one of the maps that is provided with CBRN-Analysis, and we're going to use it as the background map and then place our multiple maps on top of that background map. And we will, I think, just use the default map. Yeah. You can use the enhanced map, but I'm going to use the default map just to be different. There we go. So there is the default map, and then what we're going to do is use the magnifying glass icon that's on the map toolbar, which is actually to zoom in, and we'll zoom into Europe, this area here. Click back onto the pointer, don't forget to do that, and then you can just navigate like so until you're ready. But what we're really interested in, as soon as we open up the map, then we've got the map toolbar. We're going to click onto the second icon down, which is the data selection, which opens up the layer control window, and we have got the map data which is open. So we've only got 2 layers for this default map. Again, exactly the same as the single map sheet. All we're going to do is click down to this icon on the bottom left hand corner, which is to add a map layer. Click onto there, go to add, and then we need to go back into C drive, users, public, brew new tech, CBRN-Analysis, map data, map workspaces. We'll do the standard one of raw data first of all. So Maps Belgium. What we have to do with this process is then follow along with chapter 6 of the user reference guide, making sure that we've got the right formats, the right and correct entry points that we can go in, so that we can take the entry points and make sure that the new map engine can recognize them and bring the map sheets in. So if we go into Maps Belgium, then what we have to do is go into ASRP and then select our first map here, open it up, look for one of the entry points, same as the single map, and we know from placing in our single map sheet that Gen, we can do that, and then go open, and then we have one map sheet. Then we go add, go back one level or up one level, go to 18, click on to .gen file, which is a open point for ASRP mapping, go open. Now we've got 2, and then add, 5 and go open. Now we've got 3. Remember, same principle as the single map sheet. Depending on what the scale of the map is, depends on when this new map engine is going to open it up. So, because it's an intelligent map engine, it will only open up when it gets to a certain distance above the ground. You can see in the bottom right hand corner here, I'm indicating I'm at 50 kilometers. I may have to zoom right in all the way down before the map opens up, and there we go. We can, of course, make sure that this map engine opens that up earlier, and we can do that by highlighting the map sheet, right clicking, and ask it to appear earlier. However, if we've loaded up multiple map sheets, then we can highlight the first one, hold down the control key on our keyboard, and highlight all the maps that we've just brought in, and then ask it to appear earlier for those 3 maps that we have just brought in. And we do this up to 5 times, or until we see this message saying that we cannot bring or open that map up any earlier as far as the map engine is concerned. Then we go OK. So now it will open up earlier. Okay. So when I get a bit closer, there we go. So instead of going down to 500 meters, it will open up at this level at 2 kilometers. It makes it a lot easier to use. Then the final thing, don't forget, we need to save it so that we now make the link file. So we click onto the save icon. We can call this map whatever we want. We will just call it Belgium, and then save. So if I get additional maps, I can then add them in if it's within this area of operations that I'm using, and then don't forget to save. And I can save it as Belgium again and overwrite the 3 maps because I've added additional maps in, or I can call it a different name. Okay. So that is just placing in multiple maps sheets from source. However, we can also use the old maps that we've had using a previous version of CBRN-Analysis using the old map engine. So what we're going to do here is we'll close down the default map, and we'll open up the enhanced map. And we will then wait for it to build up the layers. It is a lot more detailed, so let's come out. We're not interested in that area. Come out, and we know that we want to add map sheets for around this area here, because we've used them in a previous version of CBRN-Analysis using the old map engine, and we want to use the same maps inside this version of CBRN-Analysis. Principle, exactly the same. Click into the Open Layer Control window. Here's additional, obviously, map layers because we're using the enhanced map, but we're still going to click onto the Add. We need to get into the same area as before, the map workspaces, so we do that by working our way into map workspaces. This time we're going to add in the Syria maps, and if we open up the Syria maps folder, here we can see where we've used or made these maps in a previous version of CBRN-Analysis. Okay, even though it's got tab files and GIS files, we're not interested in them. We just want to click onto the actual map itself, which is a TIFF file. Then we hold down the control key, and then we can take all those. Oops, I made a slight mistake there. Let's try that again. We just want the pictures. There we go. So we've got 6 maps. Just go open, and then our 6 maps are automatically placed in. It's a far quicker, easier process if you do have some old maps that you've used, like I said, in a previous version of CBRN-Analysis. We'll just, in fact, what we'll do is we'll do exactly the same as what we've done before. Hold down and select them all by holding down Shift on the keyboard and then right clicking, asking them to all appear earlier. And there we go. And then when we zoom in, we have our area of interest. Okay. Once we've done that, don't forget we need to save. And again, we just call it whatever we want to call it. We're just going to call it Syria and go save. So now we have a Syria map. And again, we can add additional maps, but we can now close down the layer control window. Don't forget, when we open up, we can still go to enhanced, and that's just back to the basic map, because all we've done is made a copy of enhanced with our additional maps on top, whether they be Belgium or Syria. So again, here are our links, which will quickly allow us to open up those maps. So that is how you add multiple map sheets inside CBRN-Analysis. Those map sheets can either be raw data that you're placing in and bringing in, having to look at the entry points, or they can be old map sheets that you've made from a previous version using the old map engine.